Hello and welcome to another episode of The Confident Musician Show. The Confident Musician Show. The Confident Musician Show. I should be able to say this without any issues. I've done this at least 25 times now. Alrighty, welcome to the show. You are tuning into my 5 pro tips on how to avoid stressful situations. My name is Brett Cusack, aka Megalove, and I'm a musician and a songwriter and a music educator and a life coach. And at The Confident Musician, we help musicians to overcome self-doubt and overwhelm and create more confidence than you ever thought possible. Alrighty, let's jump into it. 5 pro tips, how to avoid stressful situations. Let me bring up my notes on my computer. All right, tip number 1 is to understand the fact that there are 2 kinds of stress. There's distress and eustress. Now, distress is the one that we're probably watching this video to try and understand how to avoid. And eustress is when we are actually doing things that are actually inspiring to us or inspiring challenges. So you can probably now start to identify that when you're doing something that's stressful or when you're in distress is when you're doing something that's not inspiring to you, something that you can see is, or you feel or perceive as in the way instead of on the way. Let us know if you're tuning in, where you're tuning in from. And then obviously, eustress is when we are doing something that's actually inspiring. So if I am presenting this topic of conversation, this is something that's actually really inspiring to me, but it's also stressful because what happens if I make a mistake? I'm running this live, and I did make some mistakes. So I'm like, oh, what happens if I fall? Blah, 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 blah. So at the end of the day, we need to understand that our body is telling us something, and when we're in stress, it means that something that we're doing is not aligned with what is most important to us. And the great thing is we can change that as long as we understand what to do. So we're just getting some feedback to let us know that we need to change something. Alrighty, tip number 2 is what we want to do here is we want to link the benefits of whatever the challenge is that we're stressed about to our highest value. So your highest values is whatever it is that your life demonstrates as most important to you, most meaningful to you. It's the things you've always got money for, the things you've always got time for, the things you love to talk about in social settings, the things you can do for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and nobody has to remind you to do it. So if you've got a little list of those, a bunch of those things, and then whatever the thing that is that you're avoiding or experiencing too much stress, whether it's songwriting, joining a songwriting collaboration event, releasing your first song, doing your first Facebook Live, doing a busking, doing an open mic night, doing your first album, getting artwork done. And what we want to do here is we want to list as many benefits as it takes for you to start doing action steps in the direction of what it is that you want to do. So when you are stressed, you want to link that challenge to your highest values, if you can. Obviously, if you're really stressed out and you're in the moment, maybe this is a bit difficult. But then when you actually come back from that, you've got a bit more of a mental bandwidth, then you can actually do this process. So link benefits of your challenge to your highest values, and then it starts to become on the way instead of in the way. Tip number 3 is, do you have any hidden strategies? So for some people, they might be getting some benefits out of this thing that they're doing that's stressful. So what we want to do here is we want to just acknowledge that especially if you've been doing this a lot, what is the hidden strategy, or what are the hidden benefits and rewards and validation, acknowledgement you're getting out of putting yourself in this stressful situation? So we want to acknowledge what you're doing and why, and then we want to ask a very high quality question, which is there a higher quality action step that might be something better that I can do? So I might be, what's a good example? What's a good example for me right now? So I was avoiding putting up some of my new songs because I was stressed about them being released. And so releasing those songs then enabled me to then realize that now I'm stressed about marketing them. So it's starting to help me realize that I had a hidden strategy that was trying to keep myself safe, which is what your brain's primary purpose is to do. So we want to just acknowledge that hidden strategy and then be able to let that strategy go so I can move on to a higher quality action step, which is actually releasing the song. Tip number 4 is write down everything that you need to do and then put them into 3 categories. What are the things that only I can do? Brush my teeth, do some exercise, eat well, release my first song, practice, join a songwriting and networking event, get some music lessons. What are the things that only you can do? Then the second category is what are the things that you can delegate to somebody else? So you might be having trouble finishing the mixing for your song. So you can delegate the mixing to somebody else, especially if you don't like mixing, especially if you don't like mixing other people's songs. There's no point in getting better at it if you don't like mixing other people's songs, because you're developing this craft that you can't really turn into money because you don't actually enjoy it. And that's an example for me. And then what's the last thing that you can do? What are the things that you can just abandon? So it might be like social events that don't bring you joy anymore. It could be watching lots of television. It could be scrolling on Instagram. What are the things that you can just not do anymore because they're not actually bringing any value? Let us know if you're watching live, and let us know if you're watching the replay. Chuck a comment in the comment box. Let us know what's happening. Tip number 5 is to get a coach or a mentor to guide and inspire you along your journey so you can speed up the process, because you can always make more money because you're going to have to invest in that mentor or coach, but you can't make up the time that it takes to try and figure out whether you actually want to do that thing or whether you want to learn it. So if you are curious about getting a coach or mentor, that's why I've created my latest online course, which is called Confidence and Happiness Secrets for Musicians, which helps you start to understand some of this internal world so you can actually start doing more of the things that you love to do. And you can get that on the link below this video. There is a whole bunch of 1-hour masterclasses in there and some other special bonuses. You can get it for the cost of less than a packet of guitar strings, but it won't stay at that price for much longer. So make sure you grab a copy right now on the link below this video. All right, let's recap our 5 pro tips. Tip number 1 is there are 2 kinds of stress, eustress and distress. Eustress is inspiring challenges like learning to walk. Having the freedom of being able to move around the world was really important to you as a baby, so you really got in there and you fell over and you stacked and you face planted and you did all these things, but you did it because it was inspiring, because you were like, woohoo, I can walk now. Learning how to talk, learning how to play your instrument, whatever it might be. These are inspiring challenges because they're linked with things most important to you. And distress is when we're doing something that's not linked to our highest priority. And you can link anything. Doing the dishes, cleaning, and whenever I'm having frustrations with doing the dishes and cleaning, I'm like, how does this serve me? How does this make my life better? And so at tip number 2, we want to link benefits of your challenges to your highest value. What are all the benefits of getting a songwriting and mindset mentor? What are all the benefits of doing music lessons? What are all the benefits of joining a songwriting networking collaboration event? And as you start to list these benefits, those things start to become inspiring and on the way instead of in the way. Tip number 3 is, what is your hidden strategy, or do you have any hidden strategies? What are the benefits you're getting out of the stressful event that you keep seeming to find yourself in? And it's probably because that your brain's primary purpose is to keep you safe, and you know this space, so it's better the devil you know rather than the devil you don't. So just check in with yourself and say, am I just putting myself into this because I get significance and validation and attention and but it may not be serving you. So what are some high quality actions that you can do that's going to give you a better result? Tip number 4 is write down everything that you need to do and then put it into one of 3 categories. What are the things that only I can do? And they're the important things like looking after your body and your mind and growing in your skills. And then what are the things you can delegate to somebody else? I'm not very good at lyric writing, so I delegate it to somebody else. I'm not very good at mixing and mastering, so I delegate that to somebody. Hey, Mitch, how you going? Thank you for tuning in. Great to see you. And hard as well. And yes, what can you delegate? And then tip number, the third step with that is, what can you just let go of? What are the things that you do not no longer need to do anymore? Could be social events, could be bands that you might be in that are not bringing you joy and inspiration anymore. What can you abandon? What can you just let go of because it's not bringing you any joy anymore? And tip number 5 is to get a coach or mentor to guide and inspire you along your journey to help speed up the process. So many of my clients are just like, I wish I did this sooner. So at the end of the day, you can always make more money, but you're never going to be able to make up the time. So if it seems like there might be something I might be able to help you with, and I can help you with music lessons, songwriting, networking, collaboration events, music lessons, production for your songs, mindset coaching, relationship development, business, all of these kind of things. If maybe you're curious, you can book a 15-minute Q&A with me on the link below this video. I only have a few of them available each week, but I do have a few of them available. So there are limited spots, so make sure you book in a chat. It's obligation free, just helps us have a conversation about where it is that you want to go and whether I can be the right person for you and whether they're a good fit to work together. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. If you know somebody who is always in stressful situations and needs some help, maybe you can tag him in this video or flick it to him in a DM. And if you have loved this video and you found something useful, please type it in the comments below so I can make these videos even better. And I understand, and then you can let me know what's working so we can do more of them. Thanks so much for watching this video. My name is Brett, aka Megalove, and I will see you on the next video. Until next time, make music, make a difference. Bye-bye.